need to take care of their health. So today we'll be talking on diabetes, what the medical people call diabetes. In Yoruba it is called sugar. I hope we have heard that word before. We have heard it, maybe we have had someone, maybe a neighbor, a friend, a family that had it, isn't it? So it has become very common, and in those days it wasn't very common. But due to the kind of lifestyle and the things we consume, it has become very rampant and common, especially among men. It is more common among men than among women, even though it happens to all the genders. It even happens to children too, if we are not careful. So this diabetes is something that we don't contact it by maybe touching the person that has it, by holding hands or eating with the person or even sleeping with the person or doing things together. No, it's not contacted by that like that. But it is something that if it's in a family, maybe a father has it or a mommy has it, there's tendency that the child, one of the children can have it. Do you understand? If that next child did not have it, maybe the third generation can have it, the grandchild. So it's something that runs in the family. That's the first thing that causes it. So if we are here, if we know any of our parents or grandparents that have suffered from it, then there's something we have to do. There's a lot we have to do. It is not compulsory for us to come down with it. We can prevent it. Do you understand? We can prevent it. We can do things that will not let us have it. Are we together?
Yes.
So this diabetes is something that happens if there is too much sugar in our blood. Too much what? Sugar in our blood. And we know that in Nigeria the most of the food we consume it contains sugar. Even especially our carbohydrates, the end product is sugar. So it's sugar, rice, yam, fufu, eba, garri, even potatoes. Most of it contains sugar. So if we know that there's anything like this in our family, like maybe our parents or grandparents and that's something like it, we need to cut down on this kind of food that we eat. Are we together? We need to reduce that our sugar intake so that it will not build up in our blood. Actually, it's not the content of sugar in the blood that matters, but there's an hormone that removes this sugar in our blood. The hormone is called insulin. So if this hormone is not enough in our body, and maybe our body is not producing enough insulin, then it will be able to help us remove that sugar in the blood. The sugar will be piling up in the blood. That's why they call it ketone sugar. So the sugar in the blood will now be making us have the symptoms of this diabetes. Are we together? So the symptom used to be in stages. When the thing starts, it will start by I'm happy that when I came I saw them doing blood sugar count for us. How many of us have eaten before we came in? We ate before we came. So there's tendency that it may be higher. But if we do not, the best way to get it is when we do not eat. Whenever we are coming here and we know we are going to do this blood sugar, we should not eat so that we know the accurate quantity that it is in. So when we don't eat before we can, we get the accurate amount. But if we are eating, it may be a bit higher. So you understand, depending on what time of the day it is. So, but if we want to get the accurate measurement, we shouldn't eat before doing that blood sugar count. Are we together? So it starts from having high blood sugar in our blood. When they test us and we are going to something like 130, 140, 150, 160, it's going to like 180, then we should start watching what we are eating. This diabetes doesn't just kill somebody immediately. It will start giving you signs. So when you start noticing that anytime we come here, they do your blood sugar is higher than maybe like 130, 140, 150, then you should start watching what we consume in terms of our food. We should be reducing the amount of carbohydrates we eat. Then also our food that contains fat. Food like red meat, like meat, cow meat, you should start reducing it so that it will start cutting down the amount of sugar in our body. That means that someone that is having this large number, this 120, 130, 140, that means that insulin in his body or our body is not enough. So the person can start helping himself by reducing the sugary things he eats. Not just drinking, not just coke. I'm talking about even food like garri, like fufu, rice. You should start reducing it, cutting it down. You should base your food more on proteins and vegetables and fruits. Are we together? We should cut down on fatty food and carbohydrate foods so that we should start making sure that the sugar in the blood will start coming down gradually. Are we together? So when this diabetes has gotten to another stage, there can be a little sore on the person, on any part of the body. It can be on the leg, most times, on the hand, on the thigh. That sore will not be healing fast. because the insulin in the body is not adequate. Sometimes some people, when they see such a thing like that, they will start calling it offer. Have you ever had something like that? They will say it's offer. It is not offer. That person has not been watching what he has been eating. He has not been following up on his or her health. Are we together? So that wound will not be healing in time due to this condition. It is because there is too much sugar in the person's blood. So if it has gotten to that stage, the person can easily go to the hospital. They will know how to treat the wound and also give insulin shot so that it should boost the amount of insulin in that person's blood and in the person's body, so that insulin will be able to help remove those excess sugar. Are we together? But before it will get to that stage, the person will have been seeing these signs, that kind of blood sugar being high. Also, the person will be seeing some signs like maybe getting thirsty very often. Like now, maybe the weather is not very hot, but you're always thirsty, your throat is always dry. You just feel like drinking water, drinking something every time, excessively. That one is also another sign. Also, if the person is always feeling hungry, every 1 hour, every 2 hours, you are feeling hungry, so hungry as if you have never eaten, it's also a sign that somebody will watch. Are we together? So they are feeling all those things. Those are early signs. They are warning that person that this blood sugar is getting high. Also, if someone experiences urination too much, especially in the night, you are urinating like 4 times or 5 times before day breaks, that person should start watching it, checking his blood sugar. So if you check and it's already going to like 140, 150, you start cutting down your lifestyle, the type of food you eat. Then make sure if you are having excess weight, as a person here, we are not supposed to be having too much weight. If you are having excess weight like 90, 120, 130, you start cutting down the quantity of food you are eating. You understand? So because overweight too can help us, can make this thing to happen to us. Can make this diabetes to happen to someone very fast. Are we together? So the quantity of food that the person is consuming should start cutting it down. If a person is able to watch these signs and symptoms and start working on it, that person will not come down with this diabetes. That's why doctors used to say that diabetes is a friend of people. It doesn't just kill. It will give you signs, and if you are able to watch those signs and work on it, you will live fine. You will manage this community. And even a person with diabetes can even live up to 80, 90 years. I've seen someone with diabetes that live up to 86 years. And I've also seen the one that was just like 45 because he was not watchful. He knew that the thing is in his family line, and he was not careful, he was not watching what he eats, the kind of lifestyle he's living. Are we together? So it's a kind of disease that we can easily manage it when we know the do's and the don'ts. So are we together? So like I said, if parents have it, there's possibility that one or more of the children can have it. So that's why if you are experiencing it, you should also, when your children get to a certain age, you start taking them to check their blood sugar level and also watch what you give them. The kind of food, let's give them more vegetables, more fruits, more proteinous food, less carbohydrates and less fatty food. Are we together? So fatty food like maybe meat, too much meat, too much oily foods. So instead of that, we can give them fish, we can give them beans. We know beans is very expensive, but it is very good. It is very proteinous. If you eat vegetables more, if you eat fruits, are we together? We should eat less food, less quantity of fufu and eba. We should cut down on all those things. So these things is mainly what we consume and the kind of lifestyle we see. We should also watch the way we sit down on a spot. Like some people, when they get to their shop, they just sit down there for like 5 hours. They're on their seat. We should not live like that. We should try and be exercising ourselves, our muscles. We should try and be walking around, taking a stroll sometimes. You understand? We should not be sitting on a spot too much. Even our children too. We should not allow them to be sitting down 4 hours watching film, playing games. No. They should go out, they should exercise themselves, play games that will make them use their muscles. It's better for them than playing computer games. Are we together? So these things, our lifestyle, the food we consume, will help us to prevent this diabetes. Are we together? So if you have any questions,
please let's appreciate so please. Yeah. So do we have question and answer? May I have question? Now, we're in the era of Emilocom. It's the one that is affecting me. Please, how much is shower now?
1,000.
Then chicken. How much chicken? You know, you have, I think red meat is a no-no.
It's not small.
Maybe say, okay. So the idea is we should consume them in a small quantity.
Fish is better.
Fish is better. Okay. Now you have mentioned fufu. Fufu is not.
For someone
No,
that
these are food for common men. I'm sorry.
you consume less quantity.
Of fufu.
Yeah.
If I think three, four, eating one.
One and now.
And do we have alternative? Maybe there are some food that we don't know that these things can serve as alternative for the ones we are eating.
Like plantain, unripe plantain.
Yeah.
It's an alternative. Wheat is also an alternative.
Yeah. Because when you mention beans, some people didn't. Because the delicacy of beans now, our hope before is now no more for the common man.
But we can still try. We can add it. Maybe 1 cup to our rice.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to do 5 cups of rice. Make the rice 4 cups. Add 1 cup of beans.
To it.
So when you want to eat the rice, maybe rice and maybe you can make vegetable instead of stew with groundnut oil. So you understand? Vegetable is cheap now.
Another
Fish is
question?
also cheap.
Another question. Let's ask questions.
Ask questions.
Do you know that sometimes your body condition, your body gives you sign on your body condition? Like I personally, if I'm stressed up and I feel like my distance is going up, I get signs. But you need to understand your body to know how your body is reacting when you are stressed up. I don't know if you mentioned
It's
it.
important.
It's very
We need to
important.
understand our body
Yes,
system.
you need to understand your body system. Then the type of food you eat as you grow older, and like she mentioned, from your what's the word? Your hereditary traits. There are some people that you don't need small quantity of sugar like this. It has gone up. You understand what I'm saying? So you need to find out my parents, what's peculiar about them. If it is too much BP, you can't be too young to be monitoring. In fact, I heard some people are having stroke at a very young age. Yes. Before stroke, we say it's for Agbalagba, 70 and 80. But now you see young man, no wife, no children, is having stroke. What's the problem? You see the state of the economy and you think, you understand what I'm saying? So please, if you have more questions, ask Madam. In the absence of no, please let's appreciate her.
I want to appreciate our mommy too, Professor Chineyelo. She's such a wonderful and
Honestly
amazing
speaking,
woman.
very selfless.
Appreciate her.
Mommy, thank you so much. Your reward is on it.